Pay attention to the silver Toyota Camry pulling into the parking lot of Riverside Commons Apartments, Building 7, visitor parking. March 22nd, 2018, 4:17 p.m. The driver's side door opens. The woman stepping out is 28 years old. Her name is Nia Thompson. She has 2 children in the back seat. Jayla, age 6. Isaiah, age 4. Both still in their car seats. Both wearing backpacks shaped like cartoon characters. Jayla's is purple. Isaiah's is red with a dinosaur face. Nia is here to pick up paperwork from the apartment manager's office. She needs to renew her lease. The office closes at 5 p.m. She's running late because Jayla's school had a parent-teacher conference that went long. Isaiah fell asleep on the drive over. Nia unbuckles him, lifts him onto her hip. Jayla climbs out on her own, adjusts her backpack, reaches for her mother's free hand. Now pay attention to the man standing near the maintenance shed approximately 40 feet from where Nia parked. White male, mid-50s, gray work shirt, clipboard in hand. He appears to be inspecting the exterior utility boxes. He's been standing there for 11 minutes before Nia arrived. Security footage shows him glancing repeatedly toward the parking lot entrance. Nia walks toward the management office. Jayla skips beside her. Isaiah's head rests on his mother's shoulder. The man with the clipboard watches them. He doesn't move yet, just watches. Within 3 hours, Nia Thompson's phone would be turned off. Within 6 hours, her car would be found in that same parking spot. Doors locked, nothing disturbed. Within 12 hours, 3 separate Amber Alerts would be issued. Within 48 hours, the case would make national news. This is not a story about a woman who drove away to start a new life. This is not a story about a custody dispute or a mental health crisis, or a woman overwhelmed by motherhood. This is a story about a predator, a mother who fought with everything she had, and a door that police walked past 14 times before anyone thought to look inside. Welcome to Missing Uncovered. If this story hits home, subscribe and let me know where you're watching from and what time it is right now. Now, let's begin. April 15th, 2025. 7 years after Nia Thompson and her children vanished. Detective Rochelle Davis sits in her office at the DeKalb County Police Department, reviewing cold case files. She's been assigned to the Special Victims Cold Case Unit for 6 months. The Thompson case has been on her desk for 3 weeks. Davis has reviewed the original investigation materials multiple times. Witness statements, security footage, search records, timeline reconstructions. She keeps coming back to the same question that bothered her when she first read the file. Where did they go? The security footage from Riverside Commons shows Nia walking toward the management office at 4:19 p.m. The footage shows her entering the building at 4:21 p.m. The footage never shows her leaving, not through the front entrance, not through the side doors, not through the emergency exit and back. The original investigators checked the office. They interviewed the property manager, a woman named Carol Hughes, who said Nia never came to her office that afternoon. Hughes said she was at her desk from 3:30 p.m. until closing at 5 p.m. and didn't see Nia Thompson or her children. The case went cold because there was nowhere else to look. Nia walked into a building and never walked out. Her car remained in the parking lot. Her phone stopped transmitting location data at 4:47 p.m. No financial activity after that day. No social media posts. No sightings. Nothing. Davis decides to visit Riverside Commons herself. Not to re-interview witnesses. Not to search for new evidence. Just to walk the route Nia walked. To see what Nia saw. She arrives at 4:15 p.m. on a Thursday. Close to the same time of day. She parks in visitor parking. Building 7. She walks toward the management office. The building is older now. Paint peeling. Landscaping overgrown. The property has changed ownership twice since 2018. Davis enters through the front door. Small lobby. Elevator to the right. Stairs to the left. Directory on the wall shows the management office is on the first floor. Suite 102. Davis walks down the hallway. Fluorescent lights overhead. Stained carpet underneath. She finds Suite 102. The door is marked Property Management. By appointment only. She continues down the hallway. Passes the mailroom. passes the laundry facility. Reaches the end of the corridor. Emergency exit with push bar. Davis tests it. Unlocked. Opens to the back parking lot. She makes a mental note. She turns around, walks back toward the lobby. That's when she notices something. Between the mailroom and the laundry facility is a door. No window. No signage. Just a plain gray door with a standard keyhole lock. Davis had walked right past it the first time without registering it. She checks her file notes. The original investigation documented the management office, the mailroom, the laundry facility, the emergency exits. No mention of this gray door. Davis tries the handle. Locked. She returns to her car, retrieves her toolkit, comes back. Standard pin tumbler lock. Takes her 40 seconds to pick. The door opens, darkness beyond. Davis finds the light switch. Fluorescent panels flicker on. Concrete stairs descending. Basement level. Not shown on building directory. Not mentioned in any investigative reports. Davis descends. 15 steps. Turns right at the bottom. Long corridor. Exposed pipes overhead. Concrete floor. Storage units lining both sides. Metal cage doors with padlocks. She walks the length of the corridor, approximately 60 feet. Reaches another door at the far end. This one is steel. Industrial lock. Dead bolt. Chain. Someone secured this door from the outside. Davis examines the lock. No signs of forced entry. No rust. No wear patterns suggesting frequent use. She picks this lock too. Takes longer. 3 minutes. The door opens. The smell hits her first. Damp concrete. Mildew. Something else underneath. Something organic and wrong. Davis steps inside. Small room. Maybe 10 by 12 feet. No windows. One overhead light fixture. Flips the switch. Single bulb illuminates the space. The room is furnished. Twin mattress on the floor. Thin blanket. Empty water bottles lined against one wall. Food wrappers. A bucket in the corner. Children's drawings taped to the walls. Crayon drawings of houses and trees and stick figures holding hands. Davis's heart rate accelerates. She pulls out her phone, calls her sergeant, tells him to send crime scene text to Riverside Commons immediately, tells him to bring cadaver dogs, tells him she thinks she found where Nia Thompson and her children were held. March 22nd, 2018. Nia Thompson is 28 years old. She works as a dental hygienist at a practice in Decatur. She lives in a 2-bedroom apartment in Stone Mountain with her mother, Geneva Thompson, who helps care for Jayla and Isaiah while Nia works. Nia's been saving money to get her own place. The lease she's renewing at Riverside Commons is for a 3-bedroom unit that will be available starting May 1st. She put down a deposit 3 weeks ago. Today she needs to pick up the lease documents and sign them. Nia is organized and responsible. She keeps a detailed calendar. She texts her mother multiple times a day with updates about the kids. She never misses work, never forgets appointments, never leaves tasks unfinished. At 2:30 p.m., Nia picks up Jayla from Morningside Elementary School. Parent-teacher conference runs until 3:45 p.m. Teacher says Jayla is doing well, reading above grade level. Makes friends easily. Teacher suggests Nia consider enrolling Jayla in the gifted program next year. At 3:50 p.m., Nia sends her mother a text message. Conference done. Heading to pick up lease papers. Should be home by 5:30. Need anything from store? Geneva responds, get milk if you have time. Drive safe. At 4:02 p.m., Nia picks up Isaiah from daycare. He's cranky, didn't nap well, wants to go home. Nia promises him they'll be quick. Just need to stop at the apartment office. Then, they'll go home and have dinner. At 4:17 p.m., security cameras capture Nia's car entering the Riverside Commons parking lot. At 4:19 p.m., cameras capture Nia walking toward the building with both children. At 4:21 p.m., cameras capture Nia entering the building through the front entrance. At 4:47 p.m., Nia's phone stops transmitting location data. At 5:15 p.m., Geneva texts Nia, asking where she is. No response. At 5:45 p.m., Geneva calls Nia. Call goes straight to voicemail. At 6:30 p.m., Geneva calls again. Voicemail again. Geneva starts to worry. At 7 p.m., Geneva calls Riverside Commons Management Office. No answer. Office closed. At 7:15 p.m., Geneva calls the daycare. They confirm Nia picked up Isaiah at 4:02 p.m. At 7:30 p.m., Geneva calls the school. They confirm Nia attended the parent-teacher conference. At 8 p.m., Geneva calls the police, reports her daughter and grandchildren missing. By 9 p.m., police locate Nia's car in the Riverside Commons parking lot. Doors locked. Car seat still in back. Jayla's purple backpack on the seat. Isaiah's red backpack on the floor. Nia's purse on the passenger seat. Wallet inside. Credit cards. Driver's license. $47 in cash. Keys in the ignition. By 10 p.m., officers interview Carol Hughes, the property manager. Hughes says she was at her desk all afternoon. Says Nia Thompson never came to her office. Says she doesn't know where Nia could be. By 11 p.m., police search the building. Check all common areas. Check the management office. Check the mailroom. Check the laundry facility. Check all accessible spaces. Find nothing. By midnight, Amber Alert issued for Jayla and Isaiah Thompson. Alert describes Nia as potential abductor or person of interest. By 2 a.m., search expands to surrounding areas. Officers check nearby businesses, check bus stops, check MARTA stations, check hospitals. Nothing. By dawn, helicopters circle the area. K-9 units search nearby woods. Dive teams check the lake half a mile away. Volunteers organize search parties. News crews arrive. The story spreads. Mother and 2 young children vanished from apartment complex in broad daylight. No witnesses, no leads, no explanation. Geneva Thompson does not sleep the first night, does not sleep the second night. On the third night, she collapses from exhaustion and her sister takes her to the emergency room. Doctors give her sedatives, tell her she needs to rest, tell her she needs to take care of herself. She can't take care of herself. Her daughter is missing. Her grandchildren are missing. The initial investigation lasts 6 weeks. Police interview hundreds of people, review thousands of hours of security footage from surrounding businesses, track Nia's phone records, banking records, social media activity, search databases for any indication she planned to disappear. Find nothing. Investigators develop theories. Maybe Nia was meeting someone at the complex. Maybe she had a boyfriend Geneva didn't know about. Maybe she was involved in something illegal. Maybe she staged her own disappearance. Geneva fights back against these narratives. Nia wasn't seeing anyone. Nia wasn't involved in anything illegal. Nia loved her children. Nia would never just leave. Detectives point to the lack of evidence. No signs of struggle. No witnesses reporting suspicious activity. No surveillance footage showing anything unusual except Nia walking into the building and never coming out. After 8 weeks, the lead detective tells Geneva that Nia probably left voluntarily. Young mothers get overwhelmed sometimes. They need space. They make impulsive decisions. The children are probably fine. Nia probably took them somewhere safe. She'll come back when she's ready. Geneva refuses to believe this. She knows her daughter. Nia was happy. Nia was excited about the new apartment. Nia had plans. Nia wouldn't just abandon everything. After 3 months, the case status changes from active investigation to cold case. Resources are redirected. The daily search efforts stop. The news coverage fades. The Amber Alert expires. Life moves on for everyone except Geneva Thompson. Geneva doesn't move on. Can't move on. Won't move on. She creates a Facebook page. Help find Nia, Jayla, and Isaiah Thompson. Posts photos. Posts timelines. Posts appeals for information. The page gains followers. Other families of missing persons join. They share resources. They share grief. They share hope that slowly erodes into something harder to name. Geneva visits Riverside Commons every week, walks the property, talks to residents, asks if anyone saw anything. Most people don't remember. The complex has high turnover. New tenants move in. Old tenants move out. No one remembers a young woman and 2 children who disappeared 7 years ago. Geneva keeps Nia's bedroom exactly as it was. Clothes still in the closet. Photos on the dresser. A coffee mug Nia used. The morning she disappeared. Still sitting on the nightstand, never washed. Geneva can't bring herself to touch it. She keeps the children's rooms preserved too. Jayla's stuffed animals arranged on the bed. Isaiah's toy trucks lined up on the shelf. Everything waiting for them to come home. Geneva's sister tells her she needs to move on. Her friends tell her she needs to accept what happened. Her pastor tells her she needs to find peace. She can't find peace. How can she find peace when she doesn't know where they are? When she doesn't know if they're alive or dead? When she doesn't know if they're hurt or scared or calling for her? Every year on March 22nd, Geneva holds a vigil at Riverside Commons. The first year, 50 people attend. The second year, 30. The third year, 12. By the 7th year, it's just Geneva and her sister standing in the parking lot, holding candles, praying for answers that never come. Geneva hires 3 different private investigators over the years. The first one takes her $5,000 and produces a report that says exactly what the police said. No evidence of foul play. Likely voluntary disappearance. The second one works the case for 4 months before admitting he has no new leads. The third one tells her she should focus on healing instead of searching. Geneva fires him after one meeting. She files Freedom of Information Act requests. Demands copies of every police report. Every witness statement. Every piece of evidence. She reads through everything multiple times. Makes her own timeline. Creates her own theories. None of them lead anywhere. The property manager, Carol Hughes, dies in a car accident in 2020. Geneva tries to get access to Hughes's personal effects, thinking maybe there's something there that could help. The family refuses. Says Geneva is harassing them. Says Geneva needs to let it go. Geneva is 63 years old now. She still works as a librarian at the county branch. She lives in the same house where she raised Nia. She raised Jayla and Isaiah there too, from the time they were born until the day they disappeared. Too full of memories that hurt to remember, and hurt worse to forget. People in her life have stopped asking about the case. They've stopped expecting updates. They treat Geneva with gentle pity. They speak to her the way you speak to someone whose grief has become their identity. They're not wrong. Geneva tells herself that one day someone will find something. One day a witness will come forward. One day there will be a break in the case. One day she'll know what happened to her daughter and her grandchildren. She has to believe this. Because the alternative is unbearable. April 15th, 2025. Detective Rochelle Davis stands in the basement room at Riverside Commons, while crime scene technicians photograph every inch of the space. She's been down here for 3 hours. The initial shock has worn off. Now she's in investigator mode. Methodical. Analytical. Building the case. Step by step. The children's drawings on the wall are the first pieces of evidence collected. 12 drawings total. 8 show houses with stick figures outside. 4 show what appear to be attempts at writing. Help, in uneven letters. Mom, written multiple times. Home, with the E, backwards. The drawings are labeled with numbers and photographed from multiple angles before being carefully removed and placed in evidence bags. The mattress is tested for biological evidence. Blood, saliva, hair, DNA samples, collected from multiple locations. The water bottles are printed. Clear fingerprints recovered from several bottles. The food wrappers are cataloged. Granola bars, crackers, juice boxes, all brands commonly found at convenience stores. The bucket in the corner contains waste. It hasn't been emptied in years, based on the desiccated contents. Forensic analysis will be conducted, but the smell alone tells Davis this room was used as a bathroom when no other option existed. Davis examines the door, the lock mechanisms, the chain, the dead bolt, all installed from the outside. Whoever locked this door did so to keep someone inside. She examines the walls. Concrete. No windows. 1 air vent. Near the ceiling. Too small for even a child to fit through. She examines the floor. Concrete. Stained in several places. Forensic team will test all stains. A senior crime scene tech approaches Davis. His name is Marcus Webb. He's been processing crime scenes for 20 years. He looks shaken. Webb reports what he's found. The drawings are consistent with a child's artwork. The handwriting appears to be from a young girl, possibly 6 to 8 years old, based on letter formation. The biological evidence includes hair samples consistent with African American female and 2 children. DNA testing will confirm identities, but preliminary assessment suggests this room was occupied by the 3 missing persons. Davis asks how long someone could survive in this room. Webb estimates weeks, possibly months, if someone was bringing food and water regularly. The waste bucket suggests extended occupancy. The water bottle quantity suggests multiple deliveries. The number of food wrappers confirms regular provisions. Davis asks if the tech can determine when the room was last occupied. Webb says forensic analysis of the biological samples might provide time frame, but preliminary observation suggests the room hasn't been used in several years. Dust accumulation. Degradation of organic materials. The smell is old, not fresh. Davis processes this information. Nia and her children were held here. Someone kept them locked in this basement room. Someone brought them food and water. Someone maintained control over them for an unknown period of time. Then what happened? Did they die here? Were they moved? Were they killed and disposed of elsewhere? Davis needs to identify the person responsible. She starts with the property records. Who had access to this basement? Who had keys to these doors? Who would know this room existed? She calls the current property management company. They don't have complete records from 2018. The property changed hands in 2019, then again in 2021. Each ownership transfer resulted in incomplete record keeping. Davis subpoenas what records exist. Obtains a list of all employees who worked at Riverside Commons in March 2018. Cross-references that list with people who had basement access. 3 names emerge. Carol Hughes, property manager, deceased 2020. Raymond Mitchell, maintenance supervisor, current whereabouts unknown. Dennis Howell, part-time maintenance worker, current whereabouts unknown. Davis runs background checks on all 3. Hughes was 61 years old when she died. Clean record. No history of violence. No complaints. She was the public face of the property management, but probably not someone who would personally abduct and imprison a woman and her children. Raymond Mitchell is 58 years old. Last known address is in Griffin, Georgia. No current employment records. No recent activity. Davis assigns officers to locate him. Dennis Howell is 63 years old. Last known address is in Riverdale, Georgia. No current employment records. Davis assigns officers to locate him as well. While waiting for those leads to develop, Davis returns to the security footage from March 22, 2018. She watches it again. Nia entering the building at 4:21 p.m. Davis advances the footage frame by frame. Studies every person who enters or exits the building between 4:21 p.m. and 5 p.m. At 4:38 p.m., a man exits the building through the front entrance. White male. Gray work shirt. Clipboard. The same man who was standing near the maintenance shed when Nia arrived. Davis prints a still image. Enhances it. The man's face is partially visible. Caucasian. Mid-50s. Beard. She doesn't recognize him from any of the employee records she reviewed. She calls the current property management company again. Asks if they have any photographs of employees from 2018. They don't. She asks if they have contact information for Carol Hughes' family. They provide a phone number for Hughes' daughter. Davis calls. Explains who she is. Explains she's reopening the Thompson case. Asks if Hughes' daughter has any photos from her mother's time at Riverside Commons. Any employee gatherings. Any staff photos. Anything that might help identify who worked there in March 2018. Hughes' daughter is skeptical. She wants to know why Davis is bothering her now. 7 years later, Davis explains she found new evidence. Explains she believes someone at the property was responsible for the disappearance. Explains she needs help identifying that person. Hughes' daughter says she'll look through her mother's belongings. Says she kept some boxes of photos and papers after Hughes died. Says she'll call Davis back if she finds anything. 2 hours later, Hughes' daughter calls. She found a photo from a staff meeting in February 2018. She texts it to Davis. Davis opens the image. 7 people in the photo. Carol Hughes seated at a desk. 3 women standing behind her. 3 men standing to the side. Davis zooms in on the men's faces. Compares them to the security footage, still image. 3rd man from the left, match. Davis texts back. Who is this man? Hughes' daughter responds. I don't know his name. Mom called him Dennis. He did maintenance work. Dennis Howell. April 16, 2025. Officers locate Dennis Howell at an extended stay motel in Jonesboro, Georgia. He's been living there for 8 months, paying weekly rent in cash, working odd jobs under the table. No permanent address, no bank account, no official employment since leaving Riverside Commons in June 2018. Officers arrest Howell on suspicion of kidnapping and false imprisonment. They transport him to DeKalb County Police Headquarters. Davis conducts the interview. Howell is 63 years old, thin, weathered. He looks older than his years. He sits across from Davis in the interview room, with his hands folded on the table. He doesn't ask for a lawyer, doesn't deny anything, just sits there waiting. Davis places the security footage still image on the table, points to the man in the gray work shirt, asks Howell if that's him. Howell nods. Davis places the staff photo on the table, points to the same man, asks again if that's him. Howell nods again. Davis asks what Howell was doing at Riverside Commons on March 22, 2018. Howell states he was working. Says he was the maintenance supervisor at the time. Says Carol Hughes called him that afternoon because there was a leak in the basement storage area. Says he was checking the utility panels when Nia Thompson arrived. Davis asks what happened next. Howell takes a long breath. Says Nia walked into the building with her kids. Says she went to the management office looking for Hughes. Says Hughes wasn't there. Hughes had left early that day without telling anyone. Says Nia was confused. Says Nia asked Howell if he knew where Hughes was. Says he told Nia he didn't know. Says Nia said she needed to pick up lease documents. Says Howell told her maybe the documents were in Hughes' office and he could let her in to look. Davis asks if Howell had a key to Hughes' office. Howell confirms he had master keys to all areas of the building. Davis asks what happened when they went to Hughes' office. Howell says they didn't go to Hughes' office. Says he lied to Nia. Says he told her he needed to check something in the basement first. Says Nia followed him. Says her kids were tired and cranky. Says Jayla was asking when they could go home. Says Isaiah was half asleep on his feet. Davis asks why Howell took Nia to the basement. Howell doesn't answer right away. He stares at the table, clenches and unclenches his hands. Finally, he says he doesn't know why. Says he just did it. Says he'd been having thoughts about it for a while. Says he'd been preparing the room. Says he'd installed the locks. Says he'd been thinking about what it would be like to have someone there. Davis asks what Howell means by have someone there. Howell says he wanted company. Says he was lonely. Says he thought if he had someone to take care of, someone who needed him, maybe he wouldn't feel so empty anymore. Davis asks what happened in the basement. Howell describes leading Nia and the children down the stairs. Says he told them the office documents were in a storage unit at the back. Says Nia trusted him. Says she followed him down the corridor. Says when they reached the metal door at the end, he opened it and told her the papers were inside. Says Nia walked into the room. Says the kids followed her. Says Howell stepped back out and closed the door. Says he locked it. Davis asks what Nia did. Howell says Nia started screaming. Says she pounded on the door. Says the kids started crying. Says Howell stood outside the door listening. Says he didn't feel the way he thought he would. Says he thought he'd feel satisfied. Says instead he felt sick. Davis asks how long Howell kept them locked in that room. Howell says he went back that night with food and water. Says he'd slip it through a small slot he'd cut in the bottom of the door. Says Nia begged him to let them out. Says she promised she wouldn't tell anyone. Says she just wanted to take her kids home. Says Howell told her he couldn't let them out yet. Says he kept telling himself he'd let them go after a few days. Says he just needed some time. Says he needed to figure things out. Davis asks what things Howell needed to figure out. Howell says he needed to figure out what he was going to do. Says he knew what he did was wrong. Says he knew he'd go to prison if anyone found out. Says he kept thinking maybe if he kept them long enough they'd understand. Maybe they'd see he wasn't trying to hurt them. Maybe they'd see he just wanted someone to care about. Maybe they'd choose to stay. Davis asks how long Howell kept them locked in the room. Howell says, 6 days. Davis asks what happened after 6 days. Howell says Isaiah got sick. Says the boy had a fever. Says he was crying constantly. Says Nia was begging Howell to get him to a doctor. Says Howell went down there with children's medicine. Says Isaiah's fever kept getting worse. Says on the 7th day, Howell went down in the morning and Isaiah wasn't crying anymore. Says the boy was lying on the mattress. Says he wasn't moving. Says Nia was holding him. Says she was screaming at Howell. Says Isaiah was dead. Davis asks what Howell did. Howell says he panicked. Says he didn't know what to do. Says he'd never meant for anyone to get hurt. Says he just wanted company. Says everything went wrong. Davis asks what happened to Nia and Jayla. Howell closes his eyes. Says 2 days after Isaiah died, he went down with food and water. Says Nia wasn't begging anymore. Says she was just sitting there holding Isaiah's body. Says Jayla was curled up next to her. Says Nia looked at Howell and told him she hoped he'd burn in hell. Says Howell left the food and locked the door. Says he didn't go back the next day. Says he couldn't face them. Says he went back 2 days later. Says when he opened the door, there was no sound. Says Nia and Jayla were lying on the mattress. Says they weren't moving. Says Nia had stopped breathing. Says Jayla had stopped breathing. Says they were gone. Davis asks what Howell did with the bodies. Howell says he waited until night. Says he wrapped each body in plastic. Says he carried them out through the basement emergency exit. Says he loaded them into his truck. Says he drove to a construction site in Stockbridge. Says there was a pit being dug for a foundation. Says he put the bodies in the pit. Says he covered them with dirt. Says the next week, the construction crew poured concrete over that spot. Says no one ever knew. Davis asks if Howell is certain about the location. Howell provides the address. A residential development called Meadowbrook Estates. Lot 37. Davis asks why Howell is confessing now. Howell says he's been carrying it for 7 years. Says he can't carry it anymore. Says he sees their faces every time he closes his eyes. Says he hears Nia screaming. Says he hears Isaiah crying. Says he hears Jayla asking when they can go home. Says he wants it to stop. Davis ends the interview. Howell is formally charged with 3 counts of kidnapping, 3 counts of felony murder, and improper disposal of human remains. He waives his right to a jury trial, pleads guilty to all charges, receives 3 consecutive life sentences without possibility of parole. April 20th, 2025. Davis contacts a forensic excavation team, provides them with the address Howell gave. Meadowbrook Estates, Lot 37. The team reviews construction records from 2018. Confirms that concrete was poured on April 2nd, 2018, 11 days after Nia Thompson and her children disappeared. The current homeowner is contacted, informed that there may be human remains beneath her foundation. She's understandably horrified. Agrees to allow excavation. The excavation takes 3 days. Heavy machinery carefully removes sections of the concrete slab. Ground-penetrating radar guides the process. On the 3rd day, the team finds something. Plastic sheeting. Badly degraded, but still intact in places. Beneath the plastic are skeletal remains. 3 individuals. 1 adult female. 2 children. The remains are transported to the medical examiner's office. Forensic anthropologist confirms the adult female is consistent with a woman in her late 20s. The children's remains are consistent with ages 4 to 6 years old. DNA testing confirms identities. Nia Thompson, Jayla Thompson, Isaiah Thompson. Geneva Thompson is informed. She collapses when she hears. Her sister calls an ambulance. Geneva is treated for shock and exhaustion. She's released the same day. She doesn't go home. She goes to the police station. She needs to see Detective Davis. She needs to know everything. Davis tells her everything. Tells her about the basement room. Tells her about the drawings on the walls. Tells her about Howell's confession. Tells her what happened in those final days. Tells her where the bodies were found. Geneva listens without speaking. She doesn't cry. Doesn't scream. Just sits there absorbing information that confirms what she suspected for 7 years. Her daughter didn't leave voluntarily. Her grandchildren didn't run away. They were taken. They were killed. They were buried under concrete. Geneva asks if Howell said anything else. Anything about why he chose Nia. Anything about whether he planned it. Anything about whether he showed any remorse. Davis says Howell claimed it wasn't planned. Claimed he just saw an opportunity and took it. Claimed he never meant for anyone to die. Claimed he wanted company. Claimed he was lonely. Davis doesn't believe any of this. Davis believes Howell is a predator who selected a victim, created a trap, and executed a plan. The basement room didn't lock itself from the outside. The supplies didn't appear there by accident. This was premeditated. Geneva asks about Carol Hughes. Did she know what Howell was doing? Was she involved? Davis says the investigation found no evidence Hughes was complicit. Hughes died in 2020, so they can't question her. But nothing suggests she knew about the basement room or Howell's actions. It's possible Howell acted alone. It's possible Hughes was completely unaware. Geneva asks if there were other victims. Did Howell do this before? Did he do it after? Davis says the investigation is ongoing. Detectives are reviewing missing persons cases from other properties where Howell worked. So far, no connections have been established. But they're looking. Geneva asks what happens next. Davis explains the legal process. Howell has already pleaded guilty. Sentencing is scheduled for May 15th. Geneva will have the opportunity to provide a victim impact statement if she wishes. The bodies will be released for burial once all forensic testing is complete. That should take another few weeks. Geneva says she wants to speak at sentencing. She wants Howell to hear what he took from her. She wants him to hear what he destroyed. She wants him to know that Nia was loved, that Jayla was loved, that Isaiah was loved. She wants him to know they mattered. Davis says she'll make sure Geneva has that opportunity. May 15th, 2025. DeKalb County Superior Court, standing room only. News crews line the hallway outside. This case has captured national attention. A mother and her children held captive in a basement room for days before dying from neglect and illness. A predator who walked free for 7 years while their bodies lay under concrete. A family destroyed by one man's selfish cruelty. Dennis Howell is brought into the courtroom in shackles. Orange jumpsuit. Hands cuffed in front of him. He looks smaller than he did in the interview room. Older. Defeated. He doesn't look at the gallery. Doesn't look at Geneva Thompson sitting in the front row. Just stares at the defense table. The judge enters. Everyone rises. Court is called to order. The prosecutor presents the case. Reviews Howell's confession. Reviews the physical evidence. Reviews the forensic findings. The case is ironclad. Howell's guilt is not in question. The only matter before the court is sentencing. The judge asks if the prosecution has any witnesses for sentencing. The prosecutor calls Detective Rochelle Davis to the stand. Davis testifies about finding the basement room, about recovering the drawings Jayla made, about reading those desperate attempts at the word help in crayon, about standing in that 10 by 12 foot concrete cell and imagining a mother and 2 small children trapped there, knowing no one was coming to save them. The defense offers no witnesses. Howell's public defender makes a brief statement asking the court to consider Howell's guilty plea, his cooperation with the investigation, his lack of prior criminal history. The statement rings hollow in that courtroom. The judge asks if there are victim impact statements. Geneva Thompson stands. She's 63 years old. She's wearing her daughter's favorite blue dress. She's carrying a folder. Inside the folder are photos. Nia as a baby. Nia on her first day of school. Nia graduating from high school. Nia holding Jayla for the first time. Nia holding Isaiah for the first time. Nia smiling. Geneva approaches the podium. She doesn't look at Howell yet. First, she talks to the court. She talks about Nia, about who Nia was, about her dreams, about her plans, about the 3-bedroom apartment she was excited to move into. about the life she was building for her children, about the person she was before Dennis Howell decided she existed for his convenience. Then Geneva talks about Jayla, about her purple backpack with the cartoon character, about how she loved to read, about how her teacher said she was bright and kind and made friends easily, about how she was only 6 years old when she died, scared and confused in a concrete room. Then Geneva talks about Isaiah, about his red dinosaur backpack, about how he loved trucks, about how he would line them up perfectly on the shelf, about how he was only 4 years old when a treatable fever killed him because a monster decided one man's loneliness was worth more than 3 human lives. Geneva's voice doesn't break. She doesn't cry. She speaks clearly and firmly. She wants every word to land. Then she looks at Howell, makes him look at her, makes him see her. She tells him that for 7 years, she searched for her daughter and grandchildren. For 7 years, she was told she needed to move on. For 7 years, people looked at her with pity. For 7 years, she knew something was wrong, and no one believed her until it was too late. She tells him that she kept Nia's coffee mug unwashed for 7 years because she couldn't bear to erase that last trace of her daughter's presence. She tells him that she kept the children's rooms exactly as they were because she needed to believe they were coming home. She tells him that she held vigils in parking lots, while strangers whispered that she was crazy. She tells him that she spent every penny she had hiring investigators who told her to give up hope. She tells him that he stole more than 3 lives. He stole 7 years of her life too. 7 years of not knowing. 7 years of hoping. 7 years of searching. 7 years of grief without closure. 7 years of unanswered questions. She tells him that Nia was 28 years old, with her whole life ahead of her. She tells him that Jayla was 6 years old and wanted to be a teacher. She tells him that Isaiah was 4 years old and his favorite color was red. She tells him they were people, they were loved, they mattered. She tells him she hopes the rest of his life is as miserable as he made theirs. Then she returns to her seat. The judge delivers the sentence. 3 consecutive life terms, without possibility of parole. Howell will die in prison. That is the only certainty. Court adjourns. Howell is led away. Geneva stays in her seat. Her sister puts an arm around her. They sit there for a long time. Justice has been served, in the technical sense. The guilty party has been punished. But 3 people are still dead. A family is still destroyed. And no sentence can change that. June 1st, 2025. Nia Thompson is laid to rest at Greenwood Cemetery. Jayla Thompson is laid to rest beside her mother. Isaiah Thompson is laid to rest beside his sister. 1 grave marker. 3 names. 1 family reunited in death because they couldn't be saved in life. The funeral service is held at Mount Calvary Baptist Church, the church where Geneva has attended every Sunday for 40 years. The church where Nia was baptized. The church where Geneva prayed every week for 7 years, asking God to bring her family home. Hundreds attend. Friends, co-workers, community members, people who followed the case, people who never met Nia but were moved by her story. People who understand that this could have been anyone. This could have been them. The pastor speaks about resilience, about faith, about Geneva's unwavering belief that her daughter and grandchildren deserve justice, about how that belief moved mountains. Geneva speaks too. She thanks everyone for coming. She thanks Detective Davis for never giving up, for walking into that building and finding the door that everyone else walked past. She thanks the prosecutor for ensuring Howell would never hurt anyone else. She thanks her sister for standing beside her through 7 years of searching. She talks about what she wants people to remember, not how Nia, Jayla, and Isaiah died, how they lived. Nia's kindness, Jayla's curiosity, Isaiah's joy. Those are the things that matter. Those are the things that should be preserved. After the service, mourners gather at the cemetery. 3 caskets lowered into the ground. Geneva stands at the edge of the grave. She holds photos of her daughter and grandchildren. She places them gently on each casket before the dirt is filled in. She doesn't speak. There's nothing left to say. They're home now. That's all she wanted. For 7 years she wanted to bring them home. Now they're home. In the months following the burial, changes begin to happen. The Georgia legislature passes new requirements for property management companies. Background checks for all employees, with building access. Annual inspections of all basement and utility areas. Mandatory reporting of any locked rooms, not documented in building plans. The law is named Nia's Law. It won't bring her back. It won't undo what happened. But it might prevent the next predator from finding an unlocked door and an isolated space where he can trap someone. Detective Davis is promoted. She's now heading the Special Victims Cold Case Unit. She implements new protocols. Any case involving a missing person last seen entering a building requires comprehensive searches of all levels, including basements, utility spaces, and storage areas. No room is assumed to be empty. No door is left unchecked. Geneva starts a foundation. The Nia Thompson Foundation provides resources for families of missing persons, financial assistance for private investigators, legal support for families fighting to keep cases active, advocacy for policy changes. Geneva becomes the face of a movement she never wanted to join. She's on the news. She's invited to speak at conferences. She testifies before legislative committees. She tells Nia's story over and over. She tells Jayla's story. She tells Isaiah's story. She makes sure people know their names. She makes sure they're not reduced to statistics. She makes sure they matter. Every year, on March 22nd, Geneva holds a remembrance ceremony. Not at Riverside Commons. That place holds too much darkness. Instead, she holds it at Greenwood Cemetery. At the gravesite, she invites anyone who wants to attend. She lights candles. She reads the names of other missing persons. She reminds everyone that these are people. They're loved. They deserve to be found. The ceremony grows each year. Families of other missing persons attend. They share stories. They share hope. They share the burden of not knowing. And when someone's case is solved, when someone's missing loved one is found, they share the bittersweet relief of finally having answers. Geneva still lives in the same house, still works at the library, still keeps Nia's room preserved, though she's slowly begun to change it. Not erasing Nia, making space for memory that doesn't hurt quite as much. She keeps the children's rooms too. Jayla's stuffed animals, Isaiah's trucks. But now she's added photos from the funeral, flowers that people sent, cards with messages of support. The rooms are becoming memorials instead of frozen time capsules. Geneva sleeps better now. Not well, but better. She doesn't wake up at 3 a.m. No, checking her phone, hoping for a message that will never come. She knows where they are. She knows what happened. The not knowing was torture. The knowing is grief. Grief she can live with. On quiet evenings, Geneva sits on her porch. She holds Nia's photo in her lap. Sometimes, she talks to it, tells Nia about her day, tells her about the foundation, tells her about the families they've helped, tells her that she's still fighting, still making sure people remember, still making sure no one is forgotten. Nia's photo sits beside Isaiah's toy truck and Jayla's purple backpack. The backpack she wore the last day of her life. The backpack police recovered from the car. The backpack Geneva couldn't bear to touch for 7 years. Now she keeps it close, a reminder of who Jayla was. A little girl who loved purple and reading and making friends. A little girl who should have grown up. A little girl who didn't get that chance. Dennis Howell is in prison. He'll die there. Because Nia Thompson was 28 years old with dreams and plans and people who loved her. Jayla Thompson was 6 years old with her whole life ahead of her. Isaiah Thompson was 4 years old and his favorite color was red. They were taken. They were held. They were neglected. They died in a concrete room because one man decided his loneliness justified their suffering. But they're not forgotten. Not by Geneva. Not by the community. Not by the people who fought to find them. Not by the laws that now bear Nia's name. Not by the families who attend the remembrance ceremony each year. Geneva stands at the cemetery on a warm June evening. The sun is setting. The air is still. She kneels at the gravesite, places fresh flowers, touches the marker that bears 3 names. She doesn't say anything out loud, but inside, she tells them what she tells them every time she visits. You were loved. You are loved. You will always be loved. And everyone knows your names now. Everyone knows what happened to you. Everyone knows you didn't just disappear. You were taken, but you were found, and you're home. That's all Geneva wanted for 7 years. To bring them home. They're home now. Finally, they're home.